Driver mediator Jason Anthony and Buddha. The lineup guy Donnie Staley. Tech officials Dave Hoopengarner, Roger Leinert, and Blaine Salisbury. Spotter Bill Ditto. Pit announcer Bob Dematio. The tire and fuel guy Ben Nicholas. Craig Mishler, Larry Sanders, Tyler McRae, and Zach Downing of Mid-Vid Racing Videos. Track photographer BP Photography. And track owners and promoters John and Kelly Chapman. I'm your announcer Chris Kale, and welcome to the Fall Classic at Thunder in the Valley. All veterans, active duty military, and frontline workers, please stand for a round of applause. Active duty military, veterans, and frontline workers, thank you for your service to our country and our community. We are blessed to live in the greatest country on earth. Would you please honor our nation? And if you're able to stand, please do so. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for tonight's invocation and the playing of our national anthem. Lord, we thank you for gathering all of us here at Midvale Speedway tonight. We thank you for the beautiful weather you've given us. We ask you to please watch over all of our drivers, teams, crews, the officials, the infield workers. Please keep them safe. Please keep our fans safe as they are here watching the races tonight, as they partake in some activities in the parking lot after and on their way home. Lord, we thank you and we ask you for your forgiveness. Amen. Presenting tonight's colors, Bob Snyder Jr., Blake Ripley, and others. How about a big round of applause for, of course, everybody who was presenting tonight's colors here at Midvale Speedway. Of course, our EMS crew did such a great job this season. Our infield track crew did a great job, of course, Performance Towing, Akron Coach Towing, and everybody here at Midvale Speedway. Just can't thank all of our sponsors enough, all of our weekly sponsors, our division sponsors. Now, I'll tell you, front row is Kyle Warner. Warner in the number 52 from Yorksville, Ohio, in the Parts Mart Lucky Tree Service, sponsored 52. Row number 2, Adam,
is the number 57 car of AP Wren out of New Philadelphia. Wren, one of the regulars at the track this season. The Swartz Trucking, Shauna Music Hyde of Howard Hanna, and Hartzler's Quality Housing car. And on the outside of row number 2, car number 25. And that is Chris Grubbs, another one of the regular competitors in the late model division here at the track.
And rounding out the field, R.J. White in the number 83 from Willoughby, Ohio, in the Ganley Village Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat, sponsored number 83. 8-lap heat race, number 1 for the McIntosh Oil Company late models.
Getting ready to go for 8 laps of action. The McIntosh Oil Company late models are on the racetrack. First of 2 heat races, the 88 car on the pole, Tony Yurdiles. On the outside, Kyle Warner in the 52. Green flag is out, turn number 4, and we're underway for the Fall Classic. Gonna bring a yellow car. And the 52 of Warner, much better start in turn number 4 this time as we're underway. Green flag is now officially out, and this one will stick. 8 laps the distance, Dials to lead off of turn number 2.
Warner will battle back on the outside into turn number 3. They're neck and neck off of 4. Looks like Dial's going to slide through and lead lap number 1.
Leads it by a half a car length. Good side-by-side battle at the front of the field. Wren's going to make up some ground. Contact made, the 25 of Grubbs, with some contact to the left rear, the 52 of Warner.
Yeah, Warner got sideways, really stuttered R.J. White in that 83. He's dropped way back now, but Grubbs up to the 3rd spot. Here comes A.P. Wren for the lead.
A.P. Wren, years ago, coming from go-karts to sportsmen and then late models here at Midvale Speedway, and he battles for the lead. And at the conclusion of lap number 3, he has it. Into the number 1 spot is A.P. Wren.
Here comes the 25 of Chris Grubbs for the 2nd spot. Dial slipping back in that outside lane. Here comes Warner looking for 3rd as we're halfway home. 4 in, 4 to go.
4 completed. Grubbs now setting his sights on Wren. The duo will pull away. Kyle Warner for the 3rd spot. And the 52 of Warner moves into 3rd. Still fighting the pole sitter of this race, the 88 of Dials, but he slipped now into the 4th spot. Just not quite the handle that the 88 car was hoping for this weekend.
2 laps to go this time for the New Philadelphia, Ohio driver A.P. Wren and Chris Grubbs right on the rear deck lid.
This race, Chris, is not over quite yet. Well, that's because it's 8 laps, not 6, as here comes Grubbs. Racing with a 57 of Wren. Going to see the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for the 57 of Wren.
Does Chris Grubbs have anything? Off of turn number 2. He's going to pull right up on the rear deck lid of the 57 into turn number 3 and 4. Adam Mackey, who's your winner?
It's going to be New Philadelphia's A.P. Wren as we have a spin in 3 and 4 at the finish of the race. The 88 of Dials and the 83 of R.J. White have gone around, but it is the 57 of A.P. Wren, the veteran racer. Put your hands together for car number 57, A.P. Wren. Kid Rocket, Brock Bircher on the pole of the event. And starting on the outside, the 169 of Bobby DeVore.
A lot of animal racing machines in this one. The 4E is Corey Herron, of course, in that animal racing machine from Bolivar, Ohio. And on the outside is Neil Rowley in the 69. Of course, the animal Bob Eichel, still a little bit under the weather, but is improving. Again, our thoughts and prayers with the animal family, as both him and his wife are under the weather and in the hospital. So, animal racing and Bircher racing here for heat race number 2.
Brock Bircher, the 07, and DeVore in the 169 will bring the field to green in turn number 4. They start to pick up the pace a little bit and bring it to turn 4 for the green. Decent start. Bircher's going to lead the field into turn 1.
Of course, Brock Bircher lost his father about a week and a half ago as the 169 battles on the outside. That's Bobby DeVore, the 2nd. He led several laps in the Firecracker 150. He'll lead lap number 1.
Bircher settles into the 2nd spot. An animal racing battle for the 3rd position. On the inside lane, the 4 of Corey Herron, the outside, the 69 of Neil Rowley. Rowley making some headway in the outside lane. Looks for 2nd now in turn 4.
A little bit sideways in that number 69. He's going to duck back in behind Bircher. And those 3, Herron almost spins out in turn number 2.
Had her way sideways, had to get out of the throttle, and now will try to gain ground on 2nd and at 3rd, leading the way all by himself, the 169 of DeVore.
Bobby DeVore, the 2nd, way out in front in the 169 as Neil Rowley again to the outside of Kid Rocket, looking to take over that 2nd spot. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go.
Nice job by the 169 of Rowley moving into the number 2 position. Meanwhile, the 169 of DeVore leads the way, and he led a number of laps earlier this year in a late model race as we have a spin in turn number 4. It is the 4 car of Corey Herron and brings out our first. Bobby DeVore leads the way in car 169 as the field goes back to green. Kid Rocket goes to the inside and makes some contact with the leader. Now up front trying to close the door is Rowley. He does. All kinds of contact on the front straightaway. Here he goes back to the inside. It's DeVore for the lead.
What a move down the back straightaway. I think Rowley thought he had this one covered. DeVore said, I don't think so.
Dropping in line is Rowley. Nose to tail, the lead duo pulling away. Bircher holds on to the third position. This will be 2 laps to go this time. 6 completed for the 169 of DeVore.
Bircher trying to hang on to that third spot. White flag in the air for Bobby DeVore. As Neil Rowley, one last opportunity down in turn number 3.
Down the back stretch, DeVore holding on, just needs to keep it on the bottom. Protect the inside lane, it's what he'll do. Coming to the checkered flag, and DeVore will claim the victory over the 69 of Rowley, the 4 of Heron, and the 07 of Bircher. Pretty good second heat race for the McIntosh Oil Company late models and the team cars. Finishing first and second, DeVore got out front and was able to hang on for the heat race victory. 69, good run for Neil Rowley. Used a lot of that race in the outside lane.
Yeah, the 1-2-3 finish for Animal Racing is pulling to the line. Heat race number 2 winner in the Animal Racing sponsored 169. Put your hands together for Bobby DeVore II.
On the pole position is Rick Elkins Jr., the 32 of Norm Taylor to start second. We've got the 60 of Sam Bigham in the third starting position. The car number 77, former champion here at the Speedway, Mark Stryker. Adam White drives car number 16. Brandon Limmerman is in the 64. The 37 car of Christian Bailey. And rounding out the field of modifieds, the number 64 of Brad Copen. Strong field of open modifieds on hand this weekend. The 51 of Elkins was the fastest driver that did not lock into the top 10. So he is not locked into the invert for tomorrow's feature. He's going to be running in this heat race from the pole position. And you know Elkins, every time he's in a modified, very fast.
Yeah, very fast. Won an open modified feature earlier this season here at Midvale Speedway. It looks like they're going to get him lined up. 1 to go this time at the line.
.51 of Elkins, 32 of Taylor. Top 2 on the front row.
Green flag in the air, Elkins and Norm Taylor. Taylor, a good start. He's going to have the advantage off turn 2.
Stormin Norman trying to close the door. He has the opportunity, still gives room to the inside lane as Elkins fights back, but Taylor will have the lead at lap 1.
The number 60 of Sam Bingham back there in that third spot. He led a lot of laps on Labor Day weekend and lost that feature right at the end to Todd Ripley.
4-car breakaway, and that's the 77 of Stryker in that number 4 position. Then the final 4 in this 2 4-car pack, the 37 of Bailey, followed by the 16 of White, 64 of Copen, and the 64 of Limmerman.
Yeah, Adam White stuck in that outside lane. Bailey going to move up to the 5th spot, but the front 4 kind of checked out a little bit. Definitely not the 40-car field that we had a few weeks ago, but a very strong open mod field here. Everybody making the feature tomorrow.
Yeah, just the right amount to start the feature with the 32 of Taylor leading the way at halfway as the cross flags are shown. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go for the Taylor painting. Car number 32 of Norm Taylor.
Rick Elkins Jr. sitting right there in that 2nd spot. Sam Bingham 3rd, Mark Stryker 4th. Those 4 have pulled away from Christian Bailey in 5th.
Now a 2-car breakaway as Elkins tries to track down the leader, the 32 of Taylor. 3 laps remain, now down to the final 2 laps. 6 in. And 2 to go, going to be coming to the white flag. Can Taylor hold off the 51 of Elkins? Taylor a little quicker down the straightaway. Elkins closes that gap through the middle of the corner. That 51 rolling the center well.
And that 51 car, always a good setup underneath that thing. He always makes it turn. Final lap field in turn number 3. Norm Taylor coming to the checkered flag.
Driver from Parma, Ohio, in car number 32, Stormin Norman Taylor. The Taylor painting 32 car picks up the victory. 2nd spot to the 51 of Elkins. Bigham finishes in 3rd. Mark Stryker will take the 4th spot with Christian Bailey rounding out the top 5. Well, it was the front row drivers, two of the quickest drivers that didn't make the top 10 for the invert for the feature tomorrow. They get a chance to race tonight. Picking up the victory, pulling to the finish line to celebrate in victory lane. Put your hands together for Storm and Norman Taylor.
Yeah, these guys getting that extra chance.
For a number of years, kind of grew up racing here with that racing name Allensworth, Bryce Allensworth in car number 21 on the pole position. To the outside, a driver from Akron, Ohio, in car number 44 is Aaron Prater.
Row number 2, the number 32 of Brian Wetnall. And outside, longtime competitor in late models and modifieds, the 38 is Steve Mowry.
Driving the 67 Tannerelli ride this weekend from Canton, Ohio, making his racing return is Scott Archer. And on the outside, we see the number 43 car of Jason Wells on the outside of row number 3.
Rounding out the field in the R80 is Tyler Beatty. He was unable to make the show back here on Labor Day weekend. He's going to make the show here tonight in that R80. Another good field of open modifieds at Midvale Speedway for the Fall Classic 2021. Getting ready to go green. Bryce Allensworth, Steve Mowry on the front row. Prater and Wetnall in row 2.
Field starts picking up the pace early, and that's going to actually be a good start over in turn 4. They kind of level back out, even though they started over in turn 3. We're wheel to wheel at the front row. It's the 21 car taking the lead. Allensworth down the backstretch.
Steve Mowry will drop into the second spot. Aaron Prater holds that third position with Brian Wetnall on the outside. Wetnall looking to get to the bottom in front of Scott Archer in turn 1. He's not going to be able to do it.
Well, Mowry got sideways in the second spot. Trouble at the back of the field. Around goes the 43 of Jason
Allensworth looking to take home this heat race.
Coming back to green, turn number 4. They pick up the pace. Allensworth and Mowry bring him in. Mowry a little bit sideways when he hits the go button down in turn 4. Allows Prater to the inside. It's Aaron Prater looking for second. And it doesn't matter because the yellow's out for a failed start.
Field will get the one to go.
Archer in row number 2 coming to turn 4. Green is out. Side by side they are coming down the front stretch, spinning the tires a little bit as Mowry sends him up the track in turn 1. Fights back in turn number 2.
The big shifter almost lost it in turn number 1, but he'll settle back into the second spot. Bryce Allensworth up front. Here comes Scott Archer, the coach, up to third.
Archer got into the wall a little bit during the hot lap qualifying session earlier. White-walled the outside tires. They've since changed those and seems to be running fairly well here in the heat race as we come down to complete what is now lap number 3. 3 down and 5 to go.
Mowry all over. Oh, there goes Prater in the back. Maybe a little tap from the 43 of Wells there as Aaron Prater goes around and Allensworth and Mowry will take the green flag. Bryce Allensworth on the bottom with about a half a car length advantage, but Mowry going to battle back on the high side.
Allensworth, the preferred lane, will take the lead coming to lap number 4. 4 in and 4 to go. Halfway this time for Bryce Allensworth.
Scott Archer going to pick up the third spot. Jason Wells trying to make some moves in the high lane. He's going to give up 4th to Brian Wetnall in the 32. So Wetnall up to 4th. Wells back to 5th, and then Aaron Prater in 6th.
Nose to tail, single file formation. They go down into the first and second turn, down to the final couple laps of this one. Going to be 2 to go this time. Coming up to the 21 of Allensworth. Starting to pull away a little bit from the 38 ride, the Wise Machine, driven by Steve Mowry.
Yeah, Mowry definitely going to have to do a little bit of tweaking on that big shifter machine. A little bit loose in the rear end as Bryce Allensworth going to come and take the white flag. 1 to go in heat race number 2.
Bryce Allensworth holding a pretty wheel at the front of the field. Would like to start on the outside of row number 6 in tomorrow's feature event by way of the second place finish. He drives the Newton asphalt and paving. Car number 21, driver from Tuskegee, Ohio. Winning is Bryce Allensworth. Second goes to the 38 of Mowry. Third to the 67 car of Archer. Finishing 4th is Wetnall, and 5th spot to Jason Wells.
Rounding out the field, again, the 44 of Aaron Prater finishes 6th. Tyler Beatty 7th as your winner. Pulling to the line, former crate modified champion here at Midvale Speedway from Tuskegee, Ohio. Put in the Newton asphalt and paving sponsor number 21. Put your hands together for Bryce Allensworth.
street stocks. We've already locked in 12 of them, and we still have a very strong contingent of street stocks that are going to run heat races. 2 heats, about 17 cars. So we had really 30 street stocks basically in the pits for this weekend's action.
Yeah, huge field of cars. It's great to see this many street stocks pit side. Starting on the pole, the number 8 of Tad Grove ran most of the season this year in that Car Time Express sponsored number 8. The 1 of Bryant Smith will start alongside in row number 1.
Taking a look at row number 2, the 55 of Kyler Bertram on the inside, and the number 42 of Tim Schmidt Jr. will start in the number 4 spot.
Starting 5th, the 118 Camaro here. Colt Locker on the inside of row number 3, alongside the number 10 of Katie Wood, rookie driver in the number 10.
Final 3 starters, the 75 of Bob Passwaters Sr., longtime competitor in the pure stocks and the street stock divisions here at Midvale Speedway. Car number 28 is Cody Colmar, and rounding it out is the 58, Zach Koger in the 58, starting in the 9th position. That's the field of street stocks getting ready for green in turn number 4 this time by. Outstanding field. First of 2 heat races. Again, we've already locked in this division the top 12. They'll race tomorrow.
Getting ready to come to green, the 8 of Tad Grove, the 1 of Bryant Smith. Green flag is in the air. Grove, not a good start. Maybe spun the tires a little bit. Bryant Smith will lead off at turn number 2.
Grove running in the number 2 position. That's Tad, the older brother of Kyle Grove. 2 longtime competitors in the compacts and pure stocks here at the track. And it's going to be Bryant Smith in car number 1 leading the way, as this is the fastest of the 2 heats of the drivers that did not make the top 12 earlier in qualifying. Nose to tail single file throughout our top 5 or 6, and then a battle deep in the pack as Passwaters runs the bottom.
Tyler Bertram looking for that 2nd spot as he tries to get in, and now contact between Bertram and Grove. They'll keep going straight. 55 of Bertram looking to take over 2nd spot.
He saw the opportunity. We saw him peek to the inside of Tad Grove coming off of 4. Will Grove return the favor? That's the question. Down into the corner, he won't have to. Bertram overshot turn 1. Tad Grove back to the inside lane, the battle for 2nd. Meanwhile, Bryant Smith pulling away, coming to halfway.
Right there in that 4th spot is the 118 of Colt Locker. He's just sitting patiently looking for a lane to go to, but nothing in front of him as Grove and Bertram continue to battle and argue over 2nd.
Leader is Bryant Smith, 2nd place battle. It's been a heated one to a degree, though. The Tad Grove's going to be able to take the spot away from Bertram. Bertram would love to get to the bottom lane before the 118 of Locker gets there. Koger at the back of the field, heavy smoke. Into the pits goes Zach Koger. Big mechanical issues on the 58.
Yeah, the Red Rocket, 3 feature wins in that 58 machine, and he heads pit side, hopefully not putting anything on the racetrack, as Locker trying to get to the inside of Bertram for 3rd. Bryant Smith coming to the white flag.
Good battle for 3rd as the white flag will wave, and Bryant Smith has a commanding lead build up. Tad Grove has solidified that number 8 car in the 2nd spot. Bertram drove it in hard that time, trying to clear the 118, and does. There goes Colmar into the pits in the 28, coming to the checkered.
Bryant Smith off of turn number 4 will park it in that tuning victory lane for heat race number 1, followed by Tad Grove in the 8, the 55 of Kyler Bertram, the 118 of Colt Locker, and the 42 of Tim Schmidt Jr., rounding out the top 5. Bryant Smith from Canton, Ohio.
Heat race number 2 in the street stocks. Pete Smith in car number 99 on the pole with the 31 of Josh Peebles starting in the 2nd spot. At the inside of row number 2 is the 70 of Tom Early. Starting in the 4th position, there's Hunter Corbett in the 01. 66 car driven by Curtis Collins in this race. Coming out of turn number 2 is the number 8 car of Kyle Lawson. Rounding out our field, the number 42 of Bill Kramer, and the 22 is Keith Platts. That's your starting lineup. Heat race number 2 for the street stock division.
Nice to see Becky the Clown here. Man, it's starting to feel more and more like old times. Becky is here. Where's my Tootsie Rolls, Becky? Yes, they're at home. We love you, Becky. Great to see you here tonight, getting ready to go and get the 1 to go signal this time. How about some old-looking machines up front in the Pete Smith and Josh Peebles machines, and then you got the old Wiley veteran and Tom Early in the number 70.
It's like the vintage race here with a couple of the old school racing machines on our front row and the old school racing driver in the third starting position. It's the 99 of Pete Smith and Josh Peebles in the 31 car, front row, coming around to green this time. Second heat race for the street stocks. 8 laps they will go.
Getting ready to go green, and away they go. Peebles, Pete Smith. Smith already dropping back on the bottom, and we're 3, maybe 4 wide in turn 1.
We had the 66 of Collins bump drafting the 01 down the straightaways. They were pushing Corbett down into turn 1. The 99 of the Smith from first. Can he hang on? Tom Early kind of boxed in. Got some damage to the front of the number 70 at the conclusion of lap 1. Smooth in that first lap. Two laps in and 6 laps to go, and the black flag coming out for Josh Peebles this time. Speeding ticket. The first speeding ticket of the night goes to Josh Peebles for breaking out of his qualifying time. They had that car hooked up. Wasn't quite that quick in qualifying, so the 31 of Peebles getting the black flag for what we call a speeding ticket for breaking out of his qualifying time.
Your leader is Hunter Corbett in the 01. He'll come across the line halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. And all over the back is the 66 of Curtis Collins.
And Curtis Collins actually pushed the 01 of Corbett on the opening start. Look at this move down into the third corner, and around goes the 73, spins it out. TJ Dreyer will bring out the yellow. Got in just a little bit
in the day. Green flag in the air, 3 wide going into turn number 1 as Collins going to scoot out to the race lead. Lawson going to come right back up into that second spot.
Kyle Lawson in the 8 found an opening on the inside to go 3 wide. He's up to the second spot. Collins will lead this time by 5 in, 3 to go for Collins, the 66, in the 8 car of Lawson, and Lawson closing the gap big time.
The 22 of Keith Platts up into that third spot. A nice run by the 22. Dreyer from the back of the pack. He's up to 4th, and now Lawson looking to the outside of Collins for the race lead.
Kyle Lawson looking to the outside. There goes the 22 of Platts looking to the inside lane. 3-car battle for the lead. Coming around to the white flag. Going to be 1 lap to go for Collins. Here's Platts to the inside. Ooh, will bring home the checkered flag this next time around as the battle continues up front.
3 wide almost off of turn number 2. Into turn number 3. Here comes Lawson on the high side. Will he get the traction? Will it be Collins? Who's going to win it?
I would say he won't get the traction, and Collins will win it as he spun the tires. Did the number 8 car of Lawson in turn 4. A good run for Lawson in that outside lane, but when he got to the 4th corner, spun the tires just a little bit. Car got sideways, and Collins claims the victory in the 66. Pretty exciting heat race for the street stocks during the 2021 running, the Midvale Speedway Fall Classic.
So from Paris, Ohio, pulling into victory lane, tuning victory lane, in the number 66, put your hands together for Curtis Collins. 2009, something like that, that the crate mods came back. Somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere around 2010. Matthew says 11. I thought it was earlier than that, but nonetheless, the crate mods definitely doing a good job. We appreciate Van Meter's Auto Repair for sponsoring this division the last couple of seasons. Brandon France going to start on the front row in the number 28 with multi-time champion in multiple divisions, the old man Kevin McClintock starting alongside.
Many championships for McClintock over the years on that outside of row number 1. Row number 2 featuring the 13 on the inside lane. That's Kenny Feaster Jr. And on the outside, the 09 of Philip Cox on the outside of row number 2.
In row number 3, the number 24 is Nick Grubbs. And on the outside is the 02 of Rick Sibla.
Ready for green, 8 laps, turn 4. And Brandon France and Kevin McClintock get the green. McClintock, a good start in the outside lane. Will he close the door on the backstretch? Yes, he will. Kevin McClintock will be the leader on lap 1.
Brandon France slots into the second spot, then he slides up the racetrack a little bit. Going to open up the bottom for Kenny Feaster Jr., and Feaster's going to fill that bottom lane. He's going to try and move up into second, and he's going to tow Grubbs with him to third.
France caught in the second lane, and he's got 4 cars on the inside lane. If they stay in that train formation, he might get trained all the way to the back of the field. France caught in the outside groove. Second place is now Feaster. Up to third, the 24 of Grubbs. Here comes the 09 to the inside lane. Philip Cox to the inside. 38 car of Kevin McClintock has gone under his qualifying time twice during the race, and yet another speeding ticket tonight as McClintock has broken out this time, and I'm sure he's happy because the car is quicker than it was, and that will help him when it comes to tomorrow's feature event.
Yeah,
New
absolutely.
leader is Kenny Feaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, but the beneficiary is Kenny Feaster Jr. Had a good season in this number 13. Just hasn't been able to break through for that big feature win, but Nick Grubbs has a couple feature wins, and Philip Cox, what a second or third place finish in the points, right there behind.
4 cars remaining in this heat race as now we complete lap number 6. 2 to go for Kenny Feaster Jr. Grubbs opens up the inside a bit. Unable to go under there was Cox in the 09, and France still running in fourth, coming to the white flag.
White flag in the air, Kenny Feaster Jr. will have the race lead, nose to tail, the front 4 as they go down the back straightaway. Final time into turn number 3, Kenny Feaster Jr., your race leader.
Feaster to the checkered flag. He will claim the victory in this crate modified fast heat tonight. Kenny Feaster Jr., car number 13, taking the victory. McClintock, many-time track champion in Detroit Iron, street stocks, and then the modified division. Black flag because his car's handling much better than it did in qualifying. He broke out of his qualifying time, was sent to the pits with a speeding ticket, and that will probably realign him a little bit for the feature tomorrow and maybe take him out of contention, possibly from that same thing happening in the main event tomorrow. In victory lane, put your hands together for Kenny Feaster Jr.
And the 75 of Bobby DeVore, the second. They'll be on the front row.
Second heat race will also go 8 laps for the Van Meters Auto Repair Modified Division here at the Speedway. Car number 69, driven by Neil Rowley. Saw him in the late model earlier. And Don Rufner III in the 007, starting in the 4 spot.
DR3, your compact champion in 2021 here at Midvale Speedway. Into row number 3 will be the X09 of Wes Ennis and the 99 of Derek Gruhl. Of course, Derek Gruhl, you can see he's racing for Brandon tonight. Let's go, Brandon.
It's a popular chant that's going on here as of late. Let's go, Brandon. And he starts the 99 car. And rounding out our field is going to be the number 3 of Austin Berger. And the 74 rounding things out, longtime driver in the street stock division. That's Bob Passwaters Jr. and car number 74.
Yeah, Passwaters Jr. got a hold of that beautiful modified, brought it out on season championship night, just kind of feeling things out. His second night out in that number 74. Derek Gruhl in the 99, only a few races this season in the 99. Rooting for Brandon, of course. And, of course, the number 3 of Austin Berger, the youngster. Really close to picking up his first career feature win.
8 laps for the Van Meters Auto Repair Modifieds, getting ready to come to green in turn number 4 this time. Stahl in the 45 and DeVore in the 75 underway. Very good start down in turn 4. One of the better starts we've had here tonight. This one in the modified second heat and a good run off of turn 2 for the 45 of Cody Stahl.
The youngster Cody Stahl trying to lead lap number 1. Bobby DeVore way up the racetrack. DR3 going to come through on the bottom to second. The veteran racer of compacts, and now the modifieds moves up and is going to take the lead on the outside.
Stahl got way sideways coming off of turn 2, held on to it, past the 75 to the outside. That's driven by DeVore. Looks a lot like the Bob Passwaters senior street stocks have looked in the past, and DeVore, who's running a couple of divisions this weekend, taking the number 2 spot away from the 45 of Stahl. Let's go Brandon. He's on the outside for third.
Derek Gruhl to the outside of Cody Stahl for the third spot. And of course the X09 of Wes Ennis right behind, looking for a lane to race. Good battle in the back of the pack between Neil Rowley, Passwaters Jr., and Austin Berger. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go.
4 laps remain for the race leader, the 007 of Don Rufner III, looking good at the front of this modified. The 45 car running in 5th a moment ago will drop to the back of the field now as the 45 of Cody Stahl again really free when he gets on the throttle on the exit of the corners.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke coming from the 75 of DeVore the second as Derek Gruhl closes in on him. DR3 comfortable out front in heat race number 2 for the modifieds.
Going to be coming around the next time, and they'll see the white flag as Rufner leads the way in the 007. Second, third, fourth, and fifth nose to tail. Might be some action coming up there. Gruhl, hungry, would love that runner-up spot as he closes the gap on the 75 of DeVore on the final lap of heat race number 2 for the modifieds.
When you say hungry and Derek Gruhl, usually you're talking about a cheeseburger. If you put that cheeseburger out there, he's probably going to go get it. But getting heat race number 2 is going to be DR3.
Rufner claims the victory, second to DeVore, third to Gruhl, fourth spot to Ennis, and finishing 5th.
So when we get close to
Heat race number 1 for the Legend cars. Starting on the pole will be the number 11 car, Rich Michelik. And on the outside of row number 1 is Daniel Hall in car number 9. Row number 2, the 1 of Brendan Lucius. And on the outside, the number 48 of Bradley Weber.
last row, Aaron Mulrooney in that number 2 machine, and rounding out the field in the 97 is Evan Finley. Finley from Barberton, Ohio. Of course, your driver on the pole, Michelik from Warren, Michigan. Also, don't forget the Indian Valley Karting Club going around doing the 50-50. Make sure you pick up those 50-50 tickets from the IVKC, better known as the Indian Valley Karting Club. Getting ready to go green for the Legends for the first time in several years at Midvale Speedway.
Green flag is out, the Legend car. Heat race number 1 underway as the 9 of Daniel Hall will lead the field into turn 1 and 2. Brendan Lucius to the inside for the number 2 spot. That's Brendan Highwaters Lucius on the inside for the number 2 position.
Michelik up the racetrack, going to look like he's going to give up that spot to Lucius. Lucius on the bottom. These cars always fun to watch, those Kawasaki motors just screaming in these things. These cars are fun here at Midvale Speedway, and they're fast.
They put on a lot of good shows over the years, back when Dennis Knox was racing, Jason Knox, Fred Davis, Tim Davis, Randy Burns. There were some great Legend car races, and the lead battle now ensues. A little bit of shuffling back in the field as the 11 of Michelik goes to the back, but Brendan Lucius takes over the lead coming to lap 3.
Michelik and Weber, a little bit of contact back there. Michelik drops back as Lucius, your race leader. And the number 9 of Daniel Hall in second. Then a ways back to the 48 of Bradley Weber, Evan Finley. And Weber now way up the racetrack. Finley going to take over the 3rd spot. Problems for that 48 of Weber.
Going to be lap number 5 the next time by. To be 5 down and 3 to go for car number 1. Brendan Lucius leading the way. The 9 of Daniel Hall running second. Evan Finley in third. The 2 of Mulrooney running in the 4th position with 3 to go.
So coming to 2 laps to go in this 8-lap heat race. Brendan Lucius, nice little lead up front over Daniel Hall. But things closing up for that 2nd spot. Evan Finley on the charge.
Lucius has a nice run going. His first race here at Midvale Speedway, one of the regulars at Barberton Speedway in the Legend car division in 2021. White flag is out for Lucius. 1 to go.
Daniel Hall, Evan Finley still going to be arguing over this 2nd spot before all said and done. Finley in that black machine looking for 2nd. He's going to go to the high side in turn number 4. Brendan Lucius going to pick up the victory.
And Finley, a good run through 3 and 4, going to come up a little short for second as Daniel Hall claims the runner-up spot. Finley takes third. Mulrooney takes the 4th spot. Micheli takes 5th, and Bradley Weber finishes in the 6th position. His first race coming at Midvale Speedway, but a number of races, including victories at Barberton Speedway during the 2021 campaign. Pulling down the front straightaway to Knack Tuning victory lane for the first time. Driving car number 1, let's put your hands together for Brendan Highwaters Lucius.
The family no stranger to victory. 14 of Tim Likens from Barberton, Ohio. Actually, that's the 214 of Steve Parton. Parton in the 214, the 9 of Rick Grudier on the front row here in the heat race number 2 for the Legends. Bryce Swango will start third. Matt Snyder, not to be confused with Myatt Snyder, will start on the outside of row number 2 in the 4th spot.
Rounding out our field in the final row, the 43 of Chuck Witt and Tim Likens in car number 14, the final 2 starters for heat race number 2 for the Legend cars. They run their heats and feature later tonight. There are a number of divisions running features tonight. The Legends, the Bandoleros, the Trophy Stocks, and the Mini Trucks all running tonight in feature competition as well. Coming to green this time, 8-lap heat race number 2. For the Legends, green flag is out. A little bit of a slowed start down in the turn number 4 area, but Steve Parton, the pole sitter, still racing wheel to wheel with Rick Grudier for the lead.
Grudier going to slip back a little bit. Here comes Swango in the 18 trying to take over that 2nd spot. Grudier slips back in the high lane. Parton going to lead lap number 1 here for the Legends in heat race number 2.
Leading the way, the 214 is Steve Parton. 2nd spot is the 18 of Bryce Swango running in the 2nd spot. Running 3rd is Tim Likens. Chuck Witt has moved into the number 4 position.
Parton, your race leader. Bryce Swango in that 2nd spot, starting to close in. The 43 of Chuck Witt. Those 3 kind of broken away a little bit from Matt Snyder in the 4th spot and Grudier in 5th.
Four laps in, 4 laps to go. Heat race number 2 for the Legend cars. Going to be 2 to go this time by at the line. Continuing to lead is Steve Parton in the 214 from Peebles, Ohio. But now a battle ensues. The 18 car, Bryce Swango, has closed the gap. Going to be coming around to 1 to go this next time. And the top 3 locked in the battle. Chuck Witt has joined the action as well for the 3rd position.
White flag in the air. Final time for Steve Parton, your race leader. Good battle for 2nd. Chuck Witt going to try and take over that 2nd spot from Swango. Checker flag in the air for Parton.
Tight battle across the line, and Swango will hold on to the number 2 position. 3rd place to Chuck Witt in the 43. Finishing 4th is Matt Snyder, and Rick Grudier finishing in position number 5. Put your hands together for Steve Parton. On the pole, Jason Prosser out of Barberton, Ohio. These are young kids behind the wheel of these race cars. Basically toddlers out there competing with us tonight and getting a chance to gain some experience at racetracks before moving up through the ranks. Aiden Kitchen on the outside of row number 1.
Row number 2 is going to be Ryan Likens and Brady Cart. Brady Cart rules in row number 2.
Grandson of Junior Cart son of Denver Kart, competing in the number 21 car. And Mason Surgener rounding out our field in car number 42.
So getting ready to go, green chief starter Jonathan Smith, green flag in hand. He twirls it, getting it ready to go, and we've got a jump start down there already in turn number 4. No start, green flag going to come out, and then quickly the yellow. Blinking, especially at the front of that number 2 machine as we get ready to go green. Green flag is in the air off of turn number 4. The Bando's racing at Midvale Speedway.
5 cars, and basically they're 5 wide on the start as they head into the first corner. Leading the way, the number 2 car of Aiden Kitchen.
Kitchen does have that lead, and Cart into the second spot. He's going to take a look at the outside lane. Nope. Going to swoop it down to the bottom, try and hold on to that second spot, but here comes Surgener for the second spot now to the inside.
Surging into the second spot is Surgener, and he'll look for the lead here momentarily. Third spot is Cart. Running fourth is Likens, and fifth place is Prosser in the 11. To complete lap number 2, battle for the lead, the 42 of Surgener going for the top spot on the inside of Kitchen, and Surgener will have it coming out of the second turn.
Outside a Cart, thought better of it. Surgener starting to surge out in front just a little bit in that 42, coming to the white flag.
Down to the final lap coming up for the 42 of Surgener. Surgener down on the bumps. He's able to save it. Nearly got up a little too high on the fourth corner when he got down onto the bumps, and that has to be quite the ride for these little cars down on the inside lane, riding down very low ride height for the Bandoleros as we race to the checkered flag. Mason Surgener leading the way in the 42 will bring home the heat race victory. Second place to Brady Cart, third spot to Aiden Kitchen, and fourth spot to Ryan Likens.
Jason Prosser will come around and finish up in the 5th position. Good run by our Bandos here as their feature again coming up just a little bit later on. Mini trucks, biggest field of mini trucks we've had in quite some time. They're getting
McLean on the front row. On the outside of McLean, the 99 truck of Bob Johnson out of Harlem Springs, Ohio. Row number 2, the 000 of Blake Ripley out of Summerdale. And on the outside, the 443 of Eddie McLean. And rounding out our field will be the number 17 truck of Jake Beavers.
Yeah, Jake Beavers picking up this truck from Bill Aubil not too long ago. Aubil ended his career. Green flag in the air, and Connor McLean has the race lead. Bob Johnson going to battle back on the outside. Johnson to the race lead into turn number 3. Bob Johnson going to bring Eddie McLean with him. Those are the fastest 2 trucks here. Bob Johnson will lead lap number 1.
Looks like the outside lane having the advantage here. Top qualifier McLean. Oh, nearly open the middle there for the 000 of Blake Ripley. He drops back in line. Johnson leading the way in truck number 99. 2 laps down, 6 laps to go. The battle between the McLeans for second.
Eddie McLean gets the best of the sun on the outside lane. Connor going to slip back to that 3rd spot. Now Blake Ripley looking to the outside. Blake looking a little sporty in that 000. Gave away a feature win a couple of weeks ago.
At the line again, Eddie McLean for the second spot. Connor running in third. Hasn't been able to close the door. He swoops high a little bit down in turn 2, and that's when Connor McLean gets back to the low side. Ripley running in the 4th position. Leading the way is Johnson halfway. 4 laps in, 4 more laps to go.
Eddie McLean still hanging on to that top lane, and now Connor lights up the left front brake. He'll now drop into 3rd as Eddie McLean clears to 2nd. Blake Ripley all over the rear deck lid or tailgate of the 442.
Big lead built up for Johnson in the 99 truck. Driver from Harlem Springs, Ohio, the Benchmark Construction, Cannon Mark Nice. Well, this deluxe body and Mr. Drywall sponsored truck, but that lead starting to evaporate because Eddie McLean in the 443s closing the gap quickly. A lead battle might come up. Going to be the white flag this next time by.
2-time mini truck champion Eddie McLean closing in on Bob Johnson. White flag in the air. Does McLean have enough time to run Johnson down?
Well, he's closed the gap, and he closes to the tailgate down in turn 2. Half truck length the difference. He'll close all the way to the rear down in 3 and 4, but running out of time. Johnson off of the 4th corner, racing to the checkered, will claim a truck heat number 1. 2nd spot to McLean, 3rd to McLean, and 4th to Ripley. 5th spot to the 17 of Beavers. And the driver of the Benchmark Construction, Ken and Mark Nice, Deluxe Body and Mr. Drywall number 99. Put your hands together for the driver from Harlem Springs, Bob Johnson. Be on the pole position, and on the outside, the 751 of Alan Bedard.
Dale goes by Rowdy as he's got that on the side of the door. The 11 is Will Scott, and Trenton Croft in the 29 in row 2, rounding out the field, the 57 of Rick Brink.
Rowdy Dowdy on the pole position, sees the green underway, 3 wide down the front stretch. The 11 makes the move, and Rowdy Dowdy goes to the back of the field on the front straightaway.
3 wide off of turn number 2. Rick Brink, Rowdy, and the Croft machine is up front. Alan Bedard, your race leader. Oh, sideways off of turn number 4. He'll lead lap number 1.
Alan Bedard in the front of the field, but a challenger is there. It's Will Scott. Scott gets to the inside. Bedard leaking what looks to be a little bit of fuel out of the 751 truck on corner exit. The 11 will take over the lead. Will Scott out front, 2 laps in, 6 to go.
Truck looks like a limo compared to the 751 of Bedard and the 29 of Croft. Is Croft going to move up to 2nd? Rookie driver in that number 29.
On the move, 29, Trent Croft. Croft running 2nd. Croft closing the gap on Will Scott. .751 being black flagged for the fuel leaking out of that ride. Alan Bedard running in the 3rd spot, getting a black flag for the fuel.
Halfway home, 4 in 4 to go. Your race leader, Will Scott, has Trenton Croft all over the rear deck lid of that truck. Trenton Croft trying to get the run into turn number 3. Scott going to hold on. He is the brother of Tim Scott, former race winner here in the trucks at Midvale Speedway.
A lot of times drivers are unhappy when they get the black flag. This time Alan Bedard should be happy. Probably saved him $50 worth of fuel costs over the last 4 laps of the race. Leading the way is Will Scott in the 11, 2nd Trent Croft in truck number 29.
Good run for Rick Brink in the 57, and also Rowdy Dowdy in the 22, just picking up this truck from Ron Hoopengarner Jr. Since the end of the season. So that 22 truck had a nice run out there.
Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go for Will Scott. Scott might just have a challenge on this last lap, though. Trent Croft is there on the rear bumper off the corner in the 11 of Will Scott. It's a good exit of turn number 2, down into turns 3 and 4. And racing to the checkered flag is going to be Will Scott claiming the victory. Croft finishing in the 2nd spot, 3rd position to Rick Brink, and taking 4th, the 22 of Rowdy Dowdy.
Ohio, put your hands together. Your truck heat race number 2 winner, Will Scott.
Chris Burdett in the 61, starting in the 3rd spot. The 42 of Damian Andrews in row number 2 as well. Row number 3, the 62 of Caden Scott, and the 17 of Noah Kaufman. A.J. Andrews in the 2 car on the outside of row number 3, also in our starting lineup for the Trophy Stocks. 8 laps coming up for the Trophy Stock division. Getting ready to go. This time by, lights are out, coming to green.
Jordan Richards, Jonathan Thompson. Thompson just bought this machine earlier tonight. Green flag in the air. Richards gets a nice start into turn number 1. Thompson going to battle back on the outside through turns 1 and 2. Richards going to have the race lead. Thompson drops to the bottom.
And if 3 wide wasn't enough, we'll go 4 wide down in the corner. And hey, the car at the back of the field even wanted to stick their nose in there, but they're going to be clean to lap 1. Leading the way is Jordan Richards in the 99.
Here comes the 2 of A.J. Andrews on the high side. He's going to pull Caden Scott along with him. Caden Scott going to be up to that 3rd spot, but here comes A.J. Andrews for the race lead. Burdett falls back in the 61.
And at the line, it will be the 2 of Andrews in the lead. Outside lane now moving up. Caden Scott in the 62 has taken the 2nd spot. Running 3rd, the 99 of Jordan Richards, our early race leader. 3 laps in this time by, and going to be 5 laps to go.
Jonathan Thompson going to finally get around that pole set, or at least try to do it for the 3rd spot, as here comes Damian Andrews in the 42. Trying to run down his brother, who's race leading right now. 3 wide off turn number 2. Damian Andrews on the bottom, going to take over 3rd.
Good 3 wide battle again for the 3rd spot. Contact lookout up the track, sideways, able to hang on to it and keep it in the right direction is Jonathan Thompson in the 13. Down to the final couple laps, actually 3 laps to go the next time they cross the line. It'll be 5 in.
Caden Scott around the outside in the 62. A little bit of contact. Here comes Damian Andrews to the bottom of the 2. New race leader, the 62 of Caden Scott.
Andrews has fallen now to the 3rd position. Leading the way is Caden Scott in the 62. A lot of passing going on in our trophy stock heat race. Down to now 2 laps to go. 6 in, 2 laps to go for the 62 of Caden Scott.
Good run for Noah Kaufman in the 17. Picked up a feature win to end the year. Now going to get a little bit of contact from the 2 of A.J. Andrews. As those 2 get into it, being warned on the radio. And Kaufman going to take over that 3rd spot. Problems for the 2 as he falls back. White flag for Caden Scott.
2 after the contact, dropping back. Tires still with pressure in the cars. Fallen into the 4th position. Final lap, half a lap to go now for the 62 of Caden Scott.
Off of turn number 4, another heat race win for Caden Scott. He's won a ton of features as well. Damian Andrews will finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th A.J. Andrews, and Chris Burdett rounding out the top 5. Smith's green flag is in the air. Dunwoody and the 79 of Phil Bunton Jr. on the front row. Dunwoody will have the lead off of turn number 2. Bunton going to battle back down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. Dunwoody deep into 3. Who's going to lead lap number 1? It's going to be Phil Bunton Jr. by a nose.
Side by side for the front row, the 36 of Dunlap inside. Bunton on the outside. Bunton a good run down the backstretch. Dunlap a little better on the bottom lane through 3 and 4.
Good racing up front in the compacts. They've really had a lot of good races this season. The 36 of Dunwoody now starting to pull away just a little bit. Going to bring DR3, the champion, with him. Still trying to battle on that outside lane is Phil Bunton Jr.
Dunlap at the line, leading the way. 3 laps completed, coming to halfway this time. Going to be 4 in and 4 to go for Dunlap, Bunton, Rufner, the top 3 in the running order.
Eric Johnson battling with Napier for that 4th spot. Still all 6 cars pretty much throw a blanket over the front 6 as Napier slips up the racetrack just a little bit. He's going to drop out of the pack.
Don't throw a blanket over them though, Chris, because then they wouldn't be able to see where they were racing. Look out for that 2nd spot. Rufner on the inside lane. The outside lane, Bunton going to be able to hang on to 2nd so far. Down to 3 to go.
Ah, how I've missed those Mackey-isms here at Midvale Speedway. Dunwoody out front, DR3 trying to take over 2nd from Phil Bunton Jr. Eric Johnson right there in that 4th spot.
Final 2 laps going to be coming around to the white flag. Dunlap leading the way. It's like a throwback race in the compact division from many years ago when Richie Dunlap was part of BCR Racing. Coming off of turn number 4 and across the line. Seeing the white flag, Dunlap, Rufner, Bunton. A lot of names from the past in the top 3.
Final time off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Salinger to the outside of Eric Johnson for the 4th spot. Chief starter Jonathan Smith twirls the checkered flag. Dunwoody to victory lane. DR3 finishes 2nd. Phil Bunton Jr. 3rd.
Pretty good side-by-side action. Victory lane from New Philadelphia. Put your hands together for Richie Dunlap. The number 44 of Mike Stuber in our front row. The 18 of Clayton Oliver starting 3rd. Blaze Bacon in the 57 starting 4th. Zach Myers in the 64 in the 5th starting position. And Mike McDonald in the 16 starting in the 6th spot. 6 cars going 8 laps. It's the compacts, the Bucky Mowing compacts, getting ready for heat race number 2. Next time around, we'll go green.
Field will get that 1 to go signal. Another good looking heat race here. Timmy Kalp, a nice fast car on the pole. Mike Stuber in the 44.
Start the wave. Timmy Kalp in the 45, Mike Stuber in the 44. Front row for the start. Down in turn 4 this time, the Bucky Mowing compacts ready to go green. Heat race number 2 of a scheduled 6 heat races. Outstanding field of front wheel drives on hand this weekend. Field is green. The advantage at the start goes to the 45 of Timmy Kalp.
Stuber slips back in the outside lane, and up the racetrack goes McCoy. Almost a little bit of contact as McCoy gets to the bottom of that 44. Stuber, Timmy Kalp out front. Looks like he's going to lead lap number 1.
For 2nd position, the 18 of Clayton Oliver in the number 2 spot. Oliver on the inside lane. 3rd position, Mike Stuber. Battle for 3rd, though. Coming to the inside is Zach Myers. Wheel to wheel for the 3rd position. Leading the way is Timmy Kalp. 2 laps in.
So Clayton Oliver in the 18, looks like a 19. It used to be Bryant McCoy's car. I don't know who's in it, but it's running 2nd. I just know that Timmy Kalp is your race leader, and the 64 of Zach Myers closing in.
Myers running in the 3rd position. Oliver in the middle running in the 2nd position. Clayton Oliver closing the gap on the leader. Kalp to lead this time by 4 laps in, 4 to go, but Oliver ready to make a run for the lead.
Timmy Kalp, your race leader. Clayton Oliver working that outside lane, but here comes Zach Myers on the bottom. Front 3 have pulled away from Stuber, and the 52 of the 57 of the Sizzler, Blaze Bacon, back battling for that 4th and 5th spot.
Side by side back there, and it's heating up in the top 3 as well. Oliver would love to try a run to the outside of Kalp for the lead, but if he does, it opens up the inside for Zach Myers, who runs in 3rd. Coming to the white flag, going to be 1 lap to go for Timmy Kalp.
Kalp will keep that thing on the bottom feeding into turn number 1. Oliver going to tuck in behind, going to try a little bit of a crossover. Is he going to make it stick into turn number 3? Nope, not going to make it work. Myers going to look to the outside. Timmy Kalp coming to the checkered flag.
The battle is for 2nd. Coming to the line, it's going to be Oliver hanging on to it. Got a little tight on the front straightaway as Myers nearly had the door slam shut on him. He checked up to Speedway, son of Doug Summers, longtime late model racer. Ben Watson in the 18 starts on the outside.
Tim Likens and Gavin Roop will be in row number 2. Row 3, Braden Maurer and John Heide. Don Rufner Jr. rounding out the field as they get ready to come to green.
Green this time, 8 lap heat race number 3. 3 more heats after this one for the compacts underway. The 18 of Ben Watson the advantage into 1.
Watson slides up the racetrack. Summers going to battle back on the bottom, and he's going to have the advantage into turn number 3. Watson going to try and get it in deep, but Summers a little bit deeper. Sheldon Summers looking to take the lap number 1.
And Sheldon Summers does lead the first lap. Watson drops back into the 2nd spot. 3rd place, Tim Likens. As now that battle heats up. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 3-car battle in turn 3.
Braden Maurer looking to try and get to the bottom. Gavin Roop right there behind Likens. We could be 3 wide in turn number 3 for the 3rd spot, or turn number 1 for the 3rd spot, as Sheldon Summers continues to lead.
Don Rufner Jr. on the inside lane took a peek down there, loses some momentum on the backstretch, again runs into turn number 3. Longtime racer Don Rufner Jr. on the bottom groove. But meanwhile, up front, Sheldon Summers leading the way 3 laps in.
They'll come to the cross flags. This time, Sheldon Summers with about a 2-car length advantage, maybe down to 1 now over Ben Watson and the 22 of Braden Maurer. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go.
Summers leading, but a challenge brewing as again Watson in the 18 has closed the gap a little bit quicker down the straightaways as Watson. 3 laps to go this time for Sheldon Summers, leading the way in this compact heat race number 3.
Sheldon Summers, Ben Watson, and Braden Maurer, your front 3. Don Rufner Jr. trying to pick up the pace in that 4th spot, had to work his way from the back of the pack, trying to dig for that top 3 spot, as we got 2 to go now for Summers.
Final 2 laps, 3-car breakaway. Rufner leading the final pack of 4 cars. A little bit of a split between those. As Summers leads, coming to the white flag, going to be 1 lap to go for Sheldon Summers.
Does Ben Watson have anything for Summers up front? Sheldon Summers doing a nice job in that machine. Off of turn number 2, Summers continuing to lead. Pretty much lock in step for the front 3. Sheldon Summers coming to the checkered.
Off of corner 4, Watson makes one last attempt, comes up just short. Summers claims the victory. Watson second, taking third was Maurer.
Put your hands together for heat race winner from Barberton, Ohio, Sheldon Summers.
For the compacts, first 2 across the line, bringing the field to green shortly will be the 82 of Ronald Bunton and the 0 of Alan Clark.
Row number 3, your first ever Midvale Speedway female champion. She was the trophy stock champion a year ago. That is Tabby Stuber with A.J. McCall in the 32 alongside.
58 is Justin Stanley, and the 0-1 is Douglas Ralph. And rounding out our field will be Tyler Harmon in the 6 and Dan Bucky in the 0-7.
Number 2, Jonathan Smith, green flag in hand, and we are racing off of turn number 4. The green flag flies.
Underway in heat race number 4 for the Bucky Mowing Compacts. Into the lead, down into turn number 1 is Ronald Bunton on the inside lane. Clark, will he be able to get to the bottom? Doesn't really have the gap to do so. It was pretty tight back there as the 58 of Stanley thought about 3 wide. 1 lap down, 7 to go. Racing Furious second on back.
Tabby Stuber doing a nice job in that number 5, getting into the corners much better, and then she's going to get spun out by the 59. The 58, I should. Flag racing, we're back underway.
Oh, some contact that time. Down spinning into the infield. The 82 of Bunton will restart in turn 4.
They are back underway. Alan Clark and McCall into turn number 1. McCall, a good run in that outside lane. Clark going to battle back on the bottom, slide up the racetrack a little bit. Alan Clark by a half a car length into turn 3.
Look at that 58 trying to make a run in that outside lane. Finds an opening. Did Stanley maybe in the middle? That closes up in turn 4, but that is a very fast car. In fact, pushing the 00 of Jeff Smith Jr. down the front stretch.
Smith up into that 4th spot. Still a good battle. Ralph on the bottom. McCall on the top side for second behind the veteran Alan Clark.
Lap number 3 completed at the line for Alan Clark. 5 laps to go. Clark leading the way. Second place battle between Ralph and McCall. And then battle for 4th as well as Justin Stanley and Tyler Harmon go at it. Stanley takes 4th momentarily.
Stanley up the racetrack on the high side, trying to get around Smith in that 00. Now almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide. Middle of turn 1 and 2 is McCall going to get the bad end of that deal as he gets shuffled back. Smith and Stanley battle for 3rd.
Side by side for position number 3. Stanley rallying from the back of the field after the contact with Bunton. Could still win this thing with 3 laps to go. On the move, loses a little ground in turn 2. Smoke coming out of the car on the inside lane. and that's Smith.
Smith got something dragging underneath that machine, but the zero of Alan Clark out front. Here comes Stanley. Stanley has third, looking for second on the outside of Ralph. And this Stanley machine coming from the back to the front. He's got a lap and a half to do it.
Got a shot. One to go this time. White flag is out. Battle for second. Ralph on the inside gives room to Stanley. Stanley, I think, can get second. I don't know if he's going to be able to challenge for the lead with Clark. Stanley drops in line in third.
Alan Clark into turn number 3, feeding on that bottom lane. He's going to come off of turn number 4 and take the checkered flag. Your winner, Alan Clark. Ralph finishes second, Stanley third, McCall fourth, and Tyler Harmon rounding out the top 5 in heat race number 4.
Nice little rally from the back of the field for Justin Stanley in the 58 car as our 4th heat race.
So pulling to the line, heat race number 4 winner. In the Mid-Vid Racing videos, Ross Mountain Barbecue, Dirty Thumb Auto, Dan Miller Trucking, ACDC, and Renneker Racing sponsored number 0. Put your hands together for Alan Clark.
Robinson in the 68 and Hayden Nails in the number 3 in row 1. Row 2, Billy Hilliker in the 27 and Jonathan Weber, the 85.
Row number 3, Justice Lenars in the 3. Timmy Long in the number 6 spot. Kenny Betts will start 7th. Derek Robinson 8th. And Zach Brunkla in the 47 out back.
Coming to green this time, 8-lap heat race number 5 for the Bucky Mowing Compact Division. Corbin Robinson and Hayden Nails bring him to turn number 4.
Corbin Robinson in that new number 68 had the advantage on the start, but I'll tell you what, Nails a nice run on the outside lane. He's going to have the race lead. Hayden Nails will nail that restart or that initial start, and he'll bring Billy Hilliker with him in the high lane. Hayden Nails going to lead lap number 1. Hilliker up to the 2nd spot. Robinson back to 3rd.
Nails will lead the lap. Hilliker in 2nd, Robinson 3rd, Timmy Long 4th, and Derek Robinson running in the top 5. The battle 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Pole sitter slipping back in the middle now. Will drop to the 5th position. And that's a 68 of Robinson.
3-wide move by Derek Robinson on the outside. He'll move up to the 3rd spot alongside Timmy Long as Hilliker trying to find a way around Nails for the race lead.
3rd place battle might eventually be a 2nd place battle. Making some headway in the outside lane is Derek Robinson. Next on Derek's list will be the 27 car, Billy Hilliker. Boy, driving it in like 10 men was the 46. Got the car free was Timmy Long and slips back to 4th.
Oh, contact between Billy Hilliker and the 3 of Hayden Nails into turn 3. Caution on the speedway. 1.
It is the 3 of Nails and the 15 of Robinson coming to green. Robinson on the outside had a good run going and actually a much better restart than the 3 of Nails. Nails will pull back alongside down through turns 1 and 2. 2-car breakaway over the 46 of Timmy Long, running 4th to 37 of Kenny Betts.
Here comes Derek Robinson in the outside lane. Is he going to nip him at the line? He will. Derek Robinson will lead the halfway mark. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. Derek Robinson, your race leader, but here comes Nails battling back on the bottom. Good racing in the compact division. These features tomorrow are going to be dynamite. 45 compacts on the property here at Midvale Speedway.
Nails the advantage at the line, barely that time by. 3 to go, going to be 2 to go this next time by the line. The 3 of Hayden Nails leading by half a car length, but again Robinson fighting back. 2 laps remain, 6 in, and new leader at the line is Derek Robinson. Robinson the advantage for a moment, and that was at the line this past time. However, the 3 of Nails wants to take this heat race win. Good battle at the front of the field. Final lap, 1 to go. This time at the stripe, the 3 has it. Hayden Nails takes it back.
Photo finish possibly coming. Matthew Helms, get that camera ready. Make sure you stop it on a dime. We've got a good battle through 3 and 4. Robinson on the high side, Nails on the bottom. Who's going to win it? It's going to be Derek Robinson by about 2 feet. over Hayden Nails. What a good finish here in heat race number 5 of the compacts.
As for Derek Robinson.
Machine. The number 10 machine, I'm not sure who's in that number 10, and Andrea Brokaw going to be in the 4. We'll have to wait and see. No information on the 10.
10 car showed up very late. Showed up after qualifying today, so the 10 was a late entry in our field for the compact division. Final heat race before intermission. Go-karts, trunk or treat, and then feature action after that. 4 features on the program tonight. Jonathan with the green in hand, ready to wave it. He does in turn 4, underway, final compact heat.
I thought they were actually coming to get the one to go there as slow as they were going through turn number 4. Thomas Corbett way up the racetrack on the bottom. Great House will have the race lead into turn number 3, and that number 10 car, that PT Cruiser, is slipping back from the field.
Look out, sideways, got some liquid coming out of that car too. That is the 41 of Frederick. Just had slight bit of liquid come out of it and slid in his own liquid down through 3 and 4.
Great battle up front as to the outside. Corbett way up the racetrack. Great House going to try and hang on to that race lead by about a half a car length, but almost 3 wide there in turn number 1. Corbett using that unconventional line going from the top to the bottom.
Battle for second now, making a run on the inside lane. Now slipping back a little bit. The battle for the lead again. That's the 68 on the inside of row number 2, Jason Todd. Yellow flag is out. Caution down the front straightaway. Coming to green this time. Green flag is out. Back underway.
And the good start by Marshall on the bottom. And Zach Marshall going to move up into the race lead. Todd going to have the second spot. Well, nope. Great House is going to get it back. So Marshall, your race leader. The 68 up to the second spot. That is Jason Todd. Good battle with Great House. And Todd going to move up to second. Here comes on the outside Billiter in the 68B machine. But out front, Zach Marshall in the 23M.
Going to be coming back around the next time for the final lap. There are 2 to go as they cross the stripe this time. Zach Marshall, the leader in the 23, has built up about a 7-car length lead over second place Jason Todd, coming to 1 to go.
Will the lap machine, the 10, the PT Cruiser, get in the road? Zach Marshall way on the bottom. The PT Cruiser going to stay way up the racetrack, almost into the wall in turn number 1. And he's going to continue. Field makes it through. Zach Marshall comfortably out in front in turn number 3. Off turn number 4. Heat race number 6 to Zach Marshall.
Second spot following Marshall is Jason Todd. Chris Billiter finishes 3rd. 4th, Jordan Greathouse. And 5th spot to Brendan Neely.
Fine and Act Tuning, Victory Lane from Barnhill, Ohio. Your winner, Zach Marshall in the
car number 214 of Steve Parton will be the pole sitter in this 25-lap feature event. And starting alongside, driving car number 43, that is Chuck Witt. Row number 2 features the number 9 car on the inside, Daniel Hall. And on the outside, it's the number 11 of Rich Michelik.
Row number 3, the number 1 is Brandon Lucius. On the outside, Aaron Mulrooney. Bradley Weber inside of row number 4 with Evan Finley in the 97.
Driving car number 84 is Matt Snyder, and the number 18 of Bryce Swango. Rounding it out is the number 9 of Rick Grudier. That's your field of legend cars. We're scheduled to go 25 laps the distance. First legend car feature event at Midvale Speedway in about a decade. And they bring a pretty decent field of cars here tonight. good mix of younger drivers that are competing in the legend cars. Not that the legend cars have to be young drivers. You can be older drivers. We used to have a lot of veteran older competitors that competed with the legend cars as well. But a good crop of young drivers for the most part.
Chuck Witt will bring him into green. Adam Mackey, call him in.
On the inside, Steve Parton, the outside. Chuck Witt. 25 laps we will go. Feature action for the legend cars coming to green. Turn number 4 underway at Midvale Speedway for the legend cars, the Fall Classic.
Chuck Witt will be out to the race lead. Good start by him. Parton drops back into that second spot. Witt going to drop to the bottom. He's your race leader. Battle in turn number 3 for second.
A battle back for the 4th spot as Brendan Lucius gets a run to the inside of the 9 of Daniel Hall, who hasn't had a good start, and it was real close for the 3rd spot. Nearly closing the door was Michelik. In the 11, Lucius able to pick up the position.
Yeah, Lucius really on the march up to that 3rd spot. Now looking for more as the leaders battle side by side. Parton will lead that lap.
Lucius, the winner of the heat race, the fast heat earlier. Mulrooney following him through the field. The number 2 expected to be quick as well. Battle for the lead. Lucius will take it. Mulrooney will move into second. Battle up front for the lead again. Here's Mulrooney to the inside for the number 1 position.
Good racing up front in this legend feature. Mulrooney to the bottom of Lucius for the race lead.
Also watch the 97 top qualifier, Evan Finley. He's moved up into the top 3. 3-car battle, good racing early on. And the legend car 25 lapper, but this race, a long distance affair for legend cars. 25 laps, quite a distance. I think we used to run 20 lappers in this division when they came here. So an extra 5 laps. They've got plenty of time, just 5 laps in. 20 to go this time at the line.
Mulrooney, your race leader. The fastest qualifier, Evan Finley, in the 2nd spot. Brandon Lucius in the 3rd spot. Those front 3 have separated themselves from Parton back in the 4th spot.
Mulrooney leading the way, one of the favorites on a weekly basis at Barberton Speedway, claiming a championship. He's leading the pack right now. Evan Finley running 2nd, Brendan Lucius running 3rd. Finley looked trouble down in turn 1 and 2. We've got a yellow first time, and the feature action this weekend is back out 19 laps from the finish in this one. It's the battle for the lead, and Finley in the 2nd lane, inching forward off of the 2nd turn. Half a car length advantage, going down into 3, fighting back as Mulrooney takes the lead back down in turn number 4, and will lead lap 7.
Nice move on the outside for Mulrooney to take that lead back as he'll continue to lead down the back straightaway. Oh, got a car sideways in turn number 2.
It's going to be the number 8. Aaron Mulrooney brings him to green.
Mulrooney takes the green flag, slipping back a little bit. Finley right there on that start allows Lucius to come up right behind Mulrooney, but now Finley's battling back on the high side. Good 3-way battle for the top spot.
Lucius getting up there to challenge, kind of took a peek to the inside of Finley. Finley's going to be able to close the door, completing lap number 8, 17 to go. Single file throughout the field, and Mulrooney leads the way. Looks like he's settled in nicely. A talented young driver from Barberton Speedway. Also a very talented iRacing competitor. I've had a chance to race against him a number of times, and he's a threat to win every time he drives there, and has a I rating that's very good, up in the 6,000s. For anybody that knows how good that is very high up the chart. Not quite Ty Majeski status, but the top 2, nose detail, Mulrooney and Finley pulling away.
Lucius right there in that 3rd spot. He's kind of by himself in the 3rd position. Running 4th is Daniel Hall in the number 9. Steve Parton has dropped back into the 5th spot. Running 6th, the 43 of Chuck Witt, and Tim Likens in 7th. Those 7 really kind of separated themselves from the back half of the field.
Top 2 pulling away, and this race could go right down to that checkered because Finley's ready to mount another challenge. Mulrooney doesn't make many mistakes behind the wheel of a race car. Might take opening up the bottom, or does Finley make him open up the bottom later in this race with maybe a little bit of a bumper? We're closing on halfway, and in fact it's this time 13 completed, 12 laps to go for Aaron Mulrooney.
Mulrooney taking a little bit of heat from Finley, and now Finley just made a mistake. That might have been the mistake that costs him this race. Gets a little sideways down in turn number 1. He gave up, 6-7 car lengths there, Adam, in turn 1.
He is quicker. He could close that gap. He's behind 7/10 of a second that time. We'll kind of keep an eye on the differential between the top two. Back in third, all by himself, is Brendan Lucius. Running in the 4th spot, Daniel Hall, Steve Parton rounding out the top 5. Finley, does he close in a little here? He does not. Actually, Mulrooney put a little bit more ground between himself and the second place car of Finley. And I mentioned the fact that Mulrooney doesn't make mistakes. That one little mistake that Finley made there might be costly when we come now to 9 laps to go.
Finley getting caught up in traffic too. Mulrooney gets through the traffic just a little bit better that time, and now Finley back by 9/10 of a second, and more traffic coming for your race leader Mulrooney, but running out of laps is Finley.
Over 1 second the differential now as Mulrooney continues to pull away, closing on traffic, and their side-by-side drivers at the tail end of the lead lap being told on their scanner to stay high. Guess what? They do. Nicely done there as they both move over for the leader Mulrooney, and now yellow is out. Brendan Lucius is spun in turn number 4.
And Finley in turn 3 and 4. Mulrooney gets a good jump, green flag back in the air.
Finley fights back quickly in the outside lane into turns 1 and 2. Mulrooney protects the bottom, clean and green off of the second turn. Coming to 7 to go this time. Top 2 in a breakaway again. Watching deep in the pack, a battle for the 5th position side by side, including the 43 car of Chuck Witt. And on the outside lane, the number 14 ride of Tim Likens.
Running in that 3rd spot, the number 9 of Daniel Hall. Steve Parton back to 4th. Parton been in that top 5 all evening long. But your battle up front starting to heat up with only 6 laps to go. Mulrooney and Finley nose to tail down the back straightaway.
2-man race front of the field. Running in the 3rd spot, the 9 of Daniel Hall. Parton 4th. 5th is Witt. Likens 6th. Lucius trying to close. He's got a chance to move up into the top 5 as 5th and 6th right in front of him. Back to 14 gets free on the exit of turn number 4, and he'll move to the high side of Tim Likens to take that spot away in turn 2.
Lucius on the charge, like you mentioned, and that battle up front still heating up between Mulrooney and Finley. Finley maybe just biding his time, don't want to overcook those tires, but starting to run out of time. 3 to go this time for your race leader Mulrooney.
Nose to tail, Finley is there. Does he amp up the pressure on the final couple of laps? Meanwhile, Lucius has moved into the 5th spot. He still has a chance for 4th with 3 laps to go that time, 2 to go this time coming to the line. I think he'll still be able to get up into the 4th spot, so only 1 position worse than when he was running when he spun, with 2 laps to go for the leader, the number 2 of Aaron Mulrooney. White flag is waving, 1 final lap to go for the number 2 of Aaron Mulrooney.
Finley right there, but about 2-3 car lengths back, and he's not going to have anything. Mulrooney off of turn number 4.
Meanwhile, Lucius does get a run to the inside for the 4th spot, as winning is Mulrooney. 2nd spot is Finley. Taking 3rd, Daniel Hall. 4th, Steve Parton, and Brendan Lucius will take the 5th spot. He can hear you now. Your winner of the Legend Car feature at Midvale Speedway tonight, Aaron Mulrooney. Oh, yeah. He likes the trophy. Man, it's a tall trophy, Aaron. I thought it was going to be taller than you, actually, but a great race. You know, your first Legend Car feature run here at Midvale Speedway, and it turned out to be a good one.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't have done it without Dennis Knox and Randy Burns at Knox Racing. I definitely want to thank my teammate Evan Finley for racing me cleanly. I mean, that whole race, it was us two the whole time, and I'm very thankful he raced me nice and clean, especially at Midvale. And yeah, I'm just very happy we were able to get back in victory lane.
Those first couple laps were pretty crazy with you and Lucius and Finley coming to the front from where you guys started. Kind of was exciting. And did you think those first couple laps were very important to get to the front first because you made some daring moves?
Yeah, I know. I think getting to the lead here is very important considering it's mostly a one-groove track, so it's pretty challenging to pass unless you want to do the old bump and run. But I figured I'd keep my bumpers in one piece today.
You know what's going to happen on Wednesday night? I'm going to beat you in iRacing League, and then I'm going to feel pretty good because you just won a Midvale Speedway.
Yeah, you know, I think you'll feel pretty good about that one. I'm not going to lie.
Aaron Mulrooney, he is a talented iRacing competitor and a talented legend car driver. He wins tonight in his first Midvale Speedway start. Chris? Lineup. On the pole, driving car number 11 is Jason Prosser. On the outside, in the number 2 is Aiden Kitchen. Row number 2 features the 21 on the outside. That's Brady Cart. And on the inside, the number 14 of Ryan Likens. Rounding out our field, top qualifier in the 42, Mason Surgener.
Good looking field of bandos here. Just a strong field, I should say. Could have a few more. Hopefully, if we run them a few times next year, we'll have some more bandos come down. But the 11 starting on the pole of Prosser was a little off the pace in the heat race. We'll see if he can get his machine back up to proper speed here for the feature. He's starting on the pole alongside Aiden Kitchen. So getting ready to come to green. Prosser and Kitchen. Green flag is in the air for the first bando feature at Midvale Speedway. Kitchen going to have the race lead in turn number 1.
Down into 1 and 2. Kitchen leads. Here comes Cart. Brady Cart in the second spot as their nose to tail. And these cars hammer down, all about momentum, not getting off the gas, not losing momentum. And one driver taking advantage of that's the 42 of Surgener. Started 5th up to 3rd. Check that, up to 2nd place in 1 lap.
Surgener on the march from the back of the field. Kitchen, your race leader. With that nice bright blinking green transponder out front, Kitchen continues to lead, but Surgener closing fast in that 2nd spot.
Kitchen and Surgener at the front of the field. Side by side for the lead, contact, over goes the 2 car. Trouble in turn number 1, the 2 car.
Up front, up into that 3rd spot is Likens, and Prosser back to 4th. Good battle up front between the front 2.
Surgener back into the lead. Cart carries just as much speed down the straightaway through the corners. Looking good, following in line in that 2nd spot. Running 3rd despite the lack of body panels is Ryan Likens, and running 4th, the 11 of Jason Prosser. The top 2 running close in proximity. In fact, Cart using the draft a little bit to close the gap in the straightaways.
Surgener continuing to run in the race lead. They'll complete 5 laps this time, 10 to go. 5 in, 10 to go this time for Mason Surgener.
Gary Smith brought up a good point. The 3rd place car kind of looks like a dragster. You throw a parachute on the back of that thing, and the Likens car kind of looks like a drag car.
Yeah, like a, those junior drags. Yeah, I like it. I liken it.
Likens it, yes. 1st and 2nd pulling away. A good line off of turn 4 for Cart, staying close to Mason Surgener as they close on the 11 of Prosser, moving over to the bottom side. For the lead duo, they scoot around to the outside, closing on halfway. Going to be 7 laps in this time with 8 laps to go. Next time will be halfway. But it is a 2-car breakaway at the front of the field. Coming up next in feature competition, the mini trucks, as they are lined up in the pits, ready to go.
Mini trucks and trophy stocks to finish up the first night of the 2021 Fall Classic here at Midvale Speedway. Halfway home for Mason Surgener, and Brady Cart running in 2nd.
Trouble over in turn number 2. The parachute did not deploy, but around went.
Chief starter Jonathan Smith. Green flag is waving, and we're back underway. Surgener and Cart into turn number 1.
Cart, a good restart in the outside lane. How will they get through 1 and 2? Pretty good. Inside lane preferred. Surgener goes back out front, but here's Cart's chance to drop in line and see if he can challenge. Follows him into turn number 3. Coming to lap 9. 6 laps to go for Surgener and Cart.
Cart starting to slip back just a little bit. Maybe Surgener thinking it's time to push the loud pedal a little bit harder as he stretches out by about a car length and a half, maybe 2.
Closing that gap again is Cart. Surgener misses his mark in 3 and 4. Wiggles up the track. Has to check up a little bit as he got close to the wall, and Cart is there on the rear bumper heading to 1 and 2. Another bobble to the inside. Here comes Brady Cart for the lead on the backstretch. Side by side for the lead.
Good battle up front. Brady Cart going to take the race lead. Surgener going to try the crossover. Surgener back to the bottom. He'll lead at the line.
The youngsters putting on a good show in the Bandolero feature. Back into the lead goes Surgener. Brady Cart crosses over again for the lead. Here comes Cart to the inside. Going to be 3 to go this time. It's going to be 12 complete. They're closing on slower traffic as well. Surgener back to the inside. Another battle for the lead ensues.
Cart did a much better job that time. The lap traffic stays high, but now Surgener going to have the bottom of the racetrack. He leads going into turn number 3, coming to 2 laps to go for the front 2. They're side by side in 4.
Up the track they both go, getting up close to the wall. Still room at the line that time with 2 to go. It's Surgener by inches. Well, it couldn't be much more than that because the car's only a couple feet long. Off of turn number 2, Surgener leads the way. Cart running in second, coming to the white flag. Going to be 1 more lap to go.
Off turn number 4, Surgener squirts back out in front, Cart in second. One final time through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, and Cart spins in turn 2.
Cart loops it around. It brings out the yellow flag as Brady Cart spins it. He likens Cart top 3 to green.
Green and white out together. Likens gonna give way a little bit in that high lane, and here comes Brady Cart back to the inside. Almost some contact between Cart and Surgener. Final time into turn 3.
Surgener into the third corner, makes his mark there, goes against the bottom, comes to the checkered after a great race with Cart. Surgener claims the win. Brady Cart a strong second. Third place to Ryan Likens, and Jason Prosser will finish in the 4th spot.
Racing Mason getting ready to climb out. What a run Mason, Surgener, and Brady Cart put on here tonight. These bandos fast here at Midvale Speedway. Here comes your bando feature winner in neck tuning, Victory Lane, Racing Mason Surgener. There we go. Congratulations, buddy. Good run. Come on over here, Racing Mason. Man, congratulations. I got to tip my hat to you and Brady, man. You guys put on one heck of a show tonight.
That was incredible, man. First of all, obviously want to thank Brady. That was just something else. But, there's some people back there I'd also like to thank. My grandma's here somewhere in the stands. I love you lots. And then I've got my dad back there who's working on everything. I really appreciate it, man. It's been such a career, such a journey to get here, and I think we're only going to go up from here.
Absolutely, I agree, man. Just talk about the racing. You guys were back and forth. There was times that you were swapping the lead 2-3 times a lap. Brady would get the crossover on you. You would lay high and then get the crossover coming off of 4 on him. Just talk about how fun that is to race back and forth with somebody every single lap like that.
Oh, absolutely. This is a perfect track for that sort of stuff. You got one turn with a little bit of a let off the gas and another one where you're all the way in it. So it really leads to those opportunities for when one person makes a mistake to get right underneath them and do it again.
You want to run back here next year a little bit?
We're done in the bandos. This is it. We got one more in North Carolina, and we'll call it a career. 5-track championships, a national champion, 4th in points. I'd say it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. So what lies next for you?
We have a late model that we do, and then tomorrow, actually, we're making the trip all the way back to Lansing, Michigan to go race go-karts in my home state.
All right. Well, congratulations. Heck of a way to wrap up a bando career, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Your winner, Racing Mason Surgener. going to go over. Look at the show of sportsmanship right there. Big hug to Brady Cart. Hey, Brady, I got to get a quick word with you, man. How fun is that to race with him like that back and forth?
Pretty fun.
So you want to come back down here and run a little bit more next year?
Yeah.
Does Brady Cart still rule, or does Denver Cart still rule?
Always Brady Cart.
All right. Congratulations, man. Great run tonight. Give this kid a big round of applause. Let's get these bandos back here next year. What do you guys say? On the pole, Will Scott in the number 11 machine. He'll start on the pole alongside Jamie Leslie in the 17. Jamie Leslie qualified this number 17 truck, and Jake Beavers ran the heat race, but Jamie Leslie will start outside of the front row.
Row number 2, the 442 of Connor McLean on the inside lane in the 99, having a good heat race run earlier. That is Bob Johnson.
Row number 3, the 000. Blake Ripley will start in the 5th spot, and starting on the outside of row number 3, Eddie McLean, your champion.
Inside of row number 4, 29 of Trenton Croft, and Alan Bedard in the 751 starts on the outside of row 4.
Out back, the 57 of Rick Brink and the 22 of Rowdy Dowdy, Dale Dowdy, in the number 22. Also a big shout out to High Impact Tree Service, our pace truck here tonight for the mini trucks. High Impact Tree Service giving some extra money to the purses tonight. We thank them. Getting ready to go truck racing at Midvale Speedway, Will Scott and Jamie Leslie bringing them into green.
Green flag is out. 15 laps for the Ross Mountain Barbecue mini trucks underway. A good field of trucks off of turn number 2. Jamie Leslie pulling ahead.
3 wide in turn 3, 3 wide in turn 4. Bob Johnson up to the 2nd spot. Will Scott not going to move over for Blake Ripley. Ripley gives him the hip check, and now we're 3 wide for the race lead.
Ripley, the truck on the move on that bottom lane, made a couple of 3 wide passes up front. Bob Johnson leads. McLean 2nd. Leslie 3rd. 4th is Ripley. It's exciting in the early going of this 15-lap feature. McLean takes it into turn 1 sideways.
I think he might have pulled the e-brake right there in turn number 1 as he slips back a little bit, and here comes Blake Ripley. Ripley on the march up to the 3rd spot as he's inside of Leslie. Bob Johnson still your leader.
Ripley has moved to 3rd. Battle for 4th. Leslie on the outside, McLean on the inside. That is Connor McLean. Eddie McLean, top qualifier, up there battling for the lead. Bob Johnson has it. Eddie McLean, the veteran driver, wants it.
These two drivers have battled tooth and nail all season long. Bob Johnson picking up this truck about mid-2020 and done a lot of good things with this truck. Some feature wins in the 99. Eddie McLean and him battling all season long as they're getting ready to encounter lap traffic.
It's going to be pretty heavy traffic. They're being told on the scanners to stay high because here come the leaders. Johnson goes to the inside of Rowdy Dowdy, and so does McLean in the 443, also moving to the top side, the 57 of Rick Brink. He drives the Brinks truck. Wonder how much money's in the tailgate of that one.
Getting through lap traffic now, your race leaders. Bob Johnson continues to hang on out front. Eddie McLean 2nd, then Blake Ripley, Connor McLean in that 4th spot, and back to 5th is Jamie Leslie in that Beavers machine.
Top 2 closing on, more slower trucks ahead. The top 2, McLean running in 2nd, Johnson leading 3rd and 4th. Ripley and Connor McLean, they're trying to close the gap, and this might be their opportunity. The leaders are there. They're battling it out, and through the inside comes Bob Johnson. McLean goes to the outside. Top of the track, 3 wide. Maybe not the move the 2nd place truck wanted to make. Ripley goes to the inside. Heavy traffic down to turn 1.
The drivers getting lapped, not adhering to the call on the radio, and drivers all over the place, but doing a good job of negotiating. Bob Johnson, your race leader, and now problems for the leader. Bob Johnson slow off a 4, new race leader Eddie McLean.
We're down to the final 4 laps of this one. Ripley loses a lot of ground in turn number 2. That allows Eddie McLean to pull away. The Brinks truck moves up to the high side, so does Rowdy Dowdy. They give plenty of room to the leaders as Ripley also makes it through. Top 2 down through 1 and 2. Coming to 2 to go this time. 13 completed this time at the line coming up.
Rowdy Dowdy, Lottie Dottie getting lapped on the back straightaway. 2 to go for Eddie McLean. Blake Ripley right there in second. Connor McLean third. Good battle in this one. Got a feel for Bob Johnson. Man, had a nice lead coming off turn number 4, and the truck just shut off. White flag in the air for Edward McLean.
Eddie McLean through 1 and 2. Ripley tries to close the gap. Loses the ground on the exit. Gained a lot going in. He'll probably do the same in 3 and 4. The checkered flags will be waving off of the 4th corner. And veteran driver Eddie McLean claims Fall Classic victory in the mini trucks. Ripley finishes 2nd, taking 3rd Connor McLean. Jake Beavers 4th. Trenton Croft will take the 5th spot as we wrap up. And Jake Beavers' truck driven by Jamie Leslie. Chris Kale in victory lane.
Bob Johnson goes by me, just shook his head, gave me 5. It is what it is. Racing, the business sometimes isn't kind, as Bob Johnson pulls away, but it is kind to Eddie McLean, a 2-time mini truck champion here at Midvale Speedway. Steve Herman, Beth and Big A Dalton, Joe Mack Truck Bodies and Cranes, Nap Auto Parts in the John Doe Band, Jones Tax Solutions. Here's your Fall Classic feature winner, Eddie McLean. Just got to get a little love from the little ones here. Come on over here, Mr. McLean. Back here so they can see your pretty face on the camera. I know. You know how it is. Man,
make me look fat.
No. Does this shirt make me look fat?
I'm going to take the 5th.
Right, I get it. So tell me, man, that had to have been fun. You obviously heard Matthew on the scanner going, stay high, stay high, stay high, and then everybody stayed low, and then when you started coming around, they decided they were going to go high again.
I had this crazy idea in the pits. I'm looking at the lineup and I'm thinking, if this thing doesn't take off fast enough, I'm going to jump out there coming off the back of 2, and I'm going to go 3 wide. Well, then I thought better of it and ended up going 3 wide anyway. I did not like it.
I'll tell you what, that was a crazy race, but it was a good one. And this is what this class can deliver when you get 10, 12 trucks in it.
I'll tell you what, the whole time I'm chasing Bob, I'm thinking I made that truck too damn fast. You know, I worked on that all winter with him and constantly giving him ideas and tips and stuff, and I'm thinking, in here, he's fast. I don't know what happened to him, but man, I hate it for him.
Yeah, I know. That's we were talking up there, man. You hate to see something like that, but do you think you had anything for him?
Yes, I did. I needed a few more laps to get some, and I kept trying that outside to see if I could make it stick, and I was going to do a crossover on him because he was leaving that bottom open, and we made contact a couple times when I tried to get it, but I was gonna heat the tires up and come in high and sweep in with a crossover on him, and I don't know, maybe we both would have wound up in the wall, but it would have been a good story over the winter, I guess.
The old man had it all planned out. Congratulations, brother. You're a champion, you're a winner, and a class act, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Your winner, Eddie McLean. So the 61 is Chris Burdett. He'll start inside of row number 2. The 42 of Damian Andrews alongside. The number 2 is going to be Caden Scott for the feature, and the 17 of Noah Kaufman. Lap trophy stock feature. Chief starter Jonathan Smith. Green green flag in hand, hoodie on. Michael Myers watching over. Green flag is in the air, and Richards and Thompson will pile into turn number 1.
6 cars going 12 laps, leading the way off of turn number 2, Jordan Richards. With the 13, Jonathan Thompson fights back in turn 3. Got hard on the binders, did the 99 of Richards into the 3rd corner. Going to drop all the way to the back as the anchor came out in the 3rd and 4th corner.
The 42 of Damian Andrews to the outside of Jonathan Thompson.
Thompson has him by inches at the line. Outside, Andrews fighting in the 2nd groove. The 2 of Scott running the inside lane.
Scott moving up now on the back of the front 2. Oh, a little wiggle there from Thompson. He caught it as Damian Andrews is going to try and get to the bottom.
3 laps into this 12-lap race. Thompson trying to fight back on the bottom. Caden Scott moving into the 2nd spot. Damian Andrews has moved into the lead, but maybe not for long because Caden Scott in the 2. Oh, he's going to get some help. Down into the infield he goes. Drives down through the grass, hits a couple tires, and comes to a stop. Does Caden Scott.
And the caution going to be coming out. Damian Andrews jumping the gun.
So yellow light, failed start down in turn 4.
Noah Kaufman to the outside of Damian Andrews for the race lead. Back underway, Damian Andrews, the youngster, has picked up several feature victories this season. Damian Andrews didn't even know how to drive a car until he came to Midvale Speedway to start the season in this 42. With Damian Andrews.
Oh, for the lead. There's the move, the opening for Noah Kaufman, and Kaufman takes the top spot from Andrews. Andrews the crosser. They were watching the Bandolero drivers cross over back and forth, trying to have the same sort of battle for the lead. A little bit of contact there. The chrome horn from Damian Andrews. And now we have 4 laps to go. 8 laps into the books for the trophy stocks.
Kaufman trying to hang on out front. Damian Andrews missed the corner right there, and he's going to give up a couple car lengths. So Andrews going to drop back just a little bit. Noah Kaufman starting to stretch it out just a little bit. Andrews back to that 2nd spot. Then the 61 of Burdett, the 13 of Thompson, and the 99 of Richards.
Coming around to 2 laps to go. Final 2 laps coming up. Noah Kaufman leading the way. Damian Andrews running in 2nd. Chris Burdett running in the 3rd spot. They're going to see the white flag coming up this time. Going to be 1 more lap to go.
Noah Kaufman off of turn number 4. White flag. Andrews trying to close down. Kaufman going to head off into turn number 1 with about a 7 or 8 car length lead. Andrews digging, trying to close ground.
Half a lap to go. The 17 of Noah Kaufman leading goes to turn number 4. Andrews making a last-ditched effort. It's going to come up short. Noah Kaufman claims the victory. 2nd spot to Damian Andrews. Finishing 3rd, the 61 of Chris Burdett. 13 of Jonathan Thompson finishes 4th. And 5th, the 99 of Jordan Richards.
Feature win. Here's your winner, Noah Kaufman. 330 Trucking, Hardline Welding. The sponsors on the 17. Man, I told you, once you get that first one, the second one would start coming a little bit more easier, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy everybody's here this time. Last time we didn't have very many people here. So we got everybody now. My whole family's here. I mean, this is great.
And of course, your dad back here, a longtime racer here at Midvale Speedway. Who do you want to thank on the 17, man? And you're not allowed to go get in any trouble out there in the parking lot later, neither. We know how, your dad knows how that stuff goes down.
I got to thank everybody right here. I couldn't do it without them. 330 Trucking, Hardline Welding, I mean, everybody. This feels amazing, and this trophy's gigantic.
Yeah, is that the biggest trophy you ever won?
Of course, yes. Taller than my car.
It's taller in your car. It's taller than you almost. Man, congratulations. Great season, and hope to see you back in something next year, man.